maybe that's an important point to touch on, right? How would a comprehensive surveillance state try to control electronic money? Like the Chinese have got a ring fence around their interweb, right? It would be really difficult in America to try to really constrain and micromanage. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I don't think we're at that stage. I think we're at a stage of something between. So the innovation is not coming, as it never does, from the official sector. The innovation is coming from the private sector. I think we're at a stage right now where the government response ranges from indifference to fearful hostility. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to include, except with a few rare voices like Hester Peirce at the SEC and others, does the range of government response range to, wow, here's an opportunity for us to modernize what is effectively a very creaky, inefficient, exclusive, under-inclusive, expensive rent collecting financial system. If our regulators, as an enlightened US government did in the 1990s under Newt Gingrich's Congress and Bill Clinton's White House, and welcomed the first wave of the internet with a policy of first do no harm, if we were to take that approach now, I think this wave of innovation in cryptocurrency and stable coins and blockchain could be very much serve us to make our economy that much bigger, that much more efficient. You know, China both is using their new digital yuan as both a means to further communist control, everything you and I just talked about that we fear, but also for capitalist aims to actually send their economy into fast forward. They view a digital yuan, which is their currency, as a Microsoft operating system for the world's first truly digitally networked global economy. You know, in our financial system, we have a series of silos. You want to trade a share on the New York Stock Exchange, you go to a stockbroker. You want to put on a hedge on oil prices, you go to what's called a futures commission merchant in a different regulatory scheme. You want to do a commercial loan transaction, you're talking to a different service provider. It's a series of silos, and there's no linkage between the silos except for the common usage of the dollar. But the dollar doesn't network the system. It just is a means of influence of one from the other. China sees a digital yuan as the actual operating system to network all of these functions in the economy, taking out enormous amount of cost of what's called latency or slowness. And it can take the world's fastest growing economy and take out that cost and send that economy into hyperspeed.
Right.
It really is a broad vision of the potential of digital currency. Chris, you're as familiar with this as, and I'm sure your listeners are. Look around us, our bridges and our tunnels and our airports and our railroads that were once state of the art in the last century have fallen behind the times. They're archaic, they're decrepit, and they're no longer state of the art in our global standard.
At all.
Well, the same is true about a lot of our financial system. Our financial system is as creaky and as rusted and as deteriorated as that physical infrastructure. And unfortunately, our regulators, rather than seeing this new wave of innovation as an opportunity to modernize that system and improve it and bring it up to a 21st century standard, instead see their mission more as protecting the old legacy system, defending it against technological challenge. And to your point, what that means is that technology is just like that roaring river is just going to bypass us here in the United States and go where it can be developed elsewhere.
Yep.
It's such a disappointment for a nation of aspirational people, of entrepreneurs, to see us in a state right now where fearfulness seems to be the guiding light for our response to this technology, rather than ferocity and aspirational approaches to it. We embraced the first wave of the internet, which was the Internet of Information. We sat out the second wave of the internet, which is the Internet of Things and the development of 5G technology, where the United States is not even on the
Yeah.
the radar screen of developers. And the question is, what are we going to do about this third wave of the internet of value? And I'm afraid it's worse than sitting things out. We're just fearful of it, and we're being very defensive. It really is a huge